Had to get up at 3:30 in the morning to make a 6 a.m. departure out of San Antonio. Fortunately, I can skip this security line because I have TSA pre-check. So first location of the week was Denver, Colorado. We flew in and shoot day all in one long day. At this location for our interview, unfortunately, the best option was a large conference room. I always make it a priority to avoid doing interviews in conference rooms, but at least this was a big space. Last week's vlog ended with the first shoot location for this project, which was in Plano, Texas. I had my son with me as we were able to drive up from San Antonio. We spent the night and then shot the following day. Now I'm on my own. So nice having him on just about everything I've worked on for the past 12 or 14 months. So this show, I've been doing it enough years that we've got our travel kit dialed, 3 checked Pelicans, 1 carry-on with batteries, and then for this particular leg, we're on the road for 9 days, so I had to check a 4th bag with just personal clothing to get through that extended week. 1 light through a Shimira, and then it's more about gripping. I run an overhead white to flag the overhead fluorescent lighting, which I needed to leave on so I had some illumination in the background. I tried with all the lighting off and it was just too contrasty. And then I want to have some nice wrap and ratio on faces because this can be a little bit more of a dramatic storyline. So I always start with a black negative fill and then just case by case based on the ambience in the room and the subject's face, I'll decide on either no flag, black, or white bounce. And I don't remember how this one finally shook out in the end. I think it was a black, backed away a little bit further away. We don't run a lav mic, just hypercardioid on a boom pole. This is the Octava MK013, You have to Google it, I forget. It's kind of the, I say, the ideal owner-operator boom mic. It sounds almost identical to a Sheps, to a cameraman anyway. I've watched, you can go down the YouTube rabbit hole and listen to a whole bunch of acoustic comparisons, but it's a mic that's a few $100s versus several thousand. And for me, where it's one of 3 responsibilities for me on these smaller shoots, like I don't want a $2,000 microphone banging around in my Pelican case with Noga arms. Flight plus shoot day. I am hurting. 4 a.m. to 1800. Not too bad, considering. But look at this. I think this is my first Marriott courtyard property that actually has a courtyard. Southwest, I don't have the annual status I once had. So I was in the C group for this trip from Denver to Michigan. So for $80, I was able to upgrade both flights to A2 and A4 to ensure I could get my battery bag in an overhead bin. Trying to keep my voice down as I narrate this vlog. It's late. I'm in a hotel room in Tampa, trying not to disturb the other folks on the floor. Our next location was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at a healthcare facility, and it turned out the best option for the interview was in this hallway. This was a wing of the facility that did not have patient activity, so we got the okay to shoot the interview here. The alternative was a very small, echoey conference room. And then we wandered around the facility and shot some relevant B-roll, all of which I'm doing with the FX3 Ronin S, the Nucleus N wireless follow focus on a 24-70, and then I keep an ND filter in my pocket for outdoor shots as we wander around. The reason I'm running that Nucleus N is we like to do, for transitional purposes, a lot of reveals. I'll wipe off a wall in the foreground to the subject at distance, and I've found I'm just quicker and more consistent if I do a manual focus pull. And then once I'm shooting coverage of faces, close-ups, over the shoulders, I switch over to autofocus. New day, new city, Lansing, Michigan, my first visit to the capital. We drove past the university campus and we're talking about after wrap, just doing a little walk on the campus to check it out, and the weather was not cooperating. So we skipped that and just did a long dinner. But we're off in yet another large conference room. This is a government building, and they were cool with us shooting out in the office area as well, but they had the older style tall cubes, like maybe 5.5 foot tall cubes. So there was no opportunity to see any distance out in the office area. And then they had a couple little sit down lounge chair sections out in open space, but one was next to busy elevators. and another one was outside the cafeteria without a good view of the cafeteria. And there were like trash cans, recycle bins, paper shredding bins, just like cluttery, ugly backgrounds. So large conference room, more of like a classroom type of space. So I shot diagonally through there, and then there's glass in the background that you can see off into the hallway area of the cube farm. I like to get the B-roll camera built before the interview, so when we get our subject in the seat, we can knock out the interview and then immediately go straight into B-roll. See here, I was having a little trouble positioning my negative fill. Have to, super limited on the grip gear I carry to keep each case under 50 pounds to check as normal baggage, as Southwest doesn't do. They do have a media bag rate, but it brings your weight up to 100, but it's $150 per case after the first two under 50 are no charge on Southwest. Scott's my client, production company producer. He also conducts all the interviews, and we've been on the road for enough years now that we have a great system down where he helps me out dragging cases, and he sets lights and fills up my water bags while I sort out the shot, and he goes and finds chairs for producer and subject, either tall or short, that are appropriate while I'm building camera. We got a great system down. We move so quick. Our record on one of these packages is just under 2 hours in and out of a building. Interview, B-roll, compelling content that provided enough content to create an impactful 3-minute package. This year, we haven't had anything that close. I think so far, our fastest was like just under 4 hours, and our longest was almost 6. So I got a call to go cover Hurricane Beryl down in Corpus Christi or Houston, and I was already booked on this travel show, so I couldn't do the hurricane coverage, and instead we end up in Lansing underneath the remnants of the storm. They had some flash flooding and standing water in Lansing while we were there. One of the people in the building was actually experiencing flooding in their neighborhood. Grand Rapids, Michigan, 8 p.m. I just took a 2-hour nap. We relocated to the city. I think it was about an hour drive from Lansing, and we shoot here in the morning, and then we relocate to another city, maybe Detroit? Shoot, I'm not sure. I gotta look at the schedule. We'll get into that tomorrow. So I thought I'd quickly go over my travel kit this year. So I've been shooting this award show since 2016, and this is its 13th season. So I'm the second DP on it. My producer director team, we separated all the cases, so it's like 2 to 3 cases per person. So I've got 2 16-15s that are with the rest of the crew. That's the tripod, lighting, and grip cases. I got a new carry-on this year. Last 2 years, I've been airline traveling with a Samsonite spinner for my batteries, laptop, and like toiletries, and like 1 fresh change of clothes, and everything else checks. But the seam blew out on the main zipper. I think it was from all the weight of the gold mount batteries. So trying out the Think Tank spinner. This is my second week with it. Second week, yeah. I got a deal from B&H. This was a returned item, 9 of 10, and it was like $100 off. I didn't see any issues with the bag. So one little travel thing I've learned over the years is I always separate 1 credit card and 1 photo ID and put it in a separate bag just in case I lose my wallet. We can carry on. So I've got my passport and a credit card there. This year, 6 gold mounts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 drone batteries. I got all my media and card readers, 5 or 6 FX3 batteries. I got the FX3 with a 24 to 70. The 2 Ronin batteries, the Ronin follow focus, an ND filter. A viewer recommended these earbuds. I'll put it screenshot up. I don't remember the name. These things sound amazing. They're like what a $150 driver sounded like a couple of years ago for under $20. I just ordered a second set of these because I'm going to keep these with my Burano, and my second set will live on my primary FX9 news camera. Then I've got a DJI mic kit in my carry-on. So just in case my checked Burano case doesn't arrive, we can shoot. I at least have something to shoot. I don't have a tripod, but I'll be able to improvise. I could do audio, B-roll, emergency interview. My MacBook travels in this other designated slot, And this, I don't know what this lanyard thing is for, but I don't like it, and I'm going to cut it out with scissors when I get my hands on some scissors, because each time I've gone to zip up, this thing pops out and it gets hung up on the teeth, and I don't have the patience for it, so removing it. 16-15 camera case, this gets checked. I originally built this to carry an Amira right here, and then last year on the show was our first year shooting Sony, and we shot FX9, which rode in the same slot. The Burano's a little wider, so this is normally where my gimbal camera runs. So it was a Blackmagic Pocket 6K and then an FX3, but now the Burano fits nicely. And also I put the Burano on its side versus upright because I'm worried about this scroll wheel. It's got one little protection here, but it's the one item that protrudes out the side of the camera, and I'm worried it's going to get damaged. And then I just have I have some foam at home. I'm going to cut a piece of foam insert to put in here, but for this show I'm just running the microfiber just in case like something finds its way into the wrong slot. Ronin original, it's a Ronin S. It's the first gen. I've had it since 2020, maybe 2019. Works fine for my application. I have like no urgency to upgrade, so no reason to buy something new just for the sake of being newer. Got all my battery chargers, two gold mounts, so I can charge 4 gold mounts at a time. This is from my follow focus, rechargeables, and then cables underneath. Drone, smart controller for the drone, belt bag for running around with spare battery and ND filter. Got all my miscellaneous tools in this slot. Boom mic, monitor mount, and then I didn't bring the EVF loop. I just have the screen in here. And when I insert this, I try to do it with the cable side facing down versus up, because I once had a cable, I think it was the Amira TSA, pinched it when they resealed the bag, and it like came out of baggage claim. You know, HDMI mini cable, but like that. And unfortunately, these Sonys, this freaks me out. As you know, you can't replace that cable. There's no connector. So like with the Amira, I always traveled with a spare EVF cable. Sony, I guess I got to travel with a spare monitor. I do have menus enabled on HDMI out, but I didn't bring a spare. Taking a little bit of risk there this year. And then 150mm prime. We're doing all the interviews on the same lens, same framing, same lighting, because these are nominee roll-in packages, and I'm trying to be as consistent with my look and lighting to not bias and make one candidate look visually better than another beyond the availability of the location and their story, trying to enhance their individual story using the same tools each time. And since I've been doing this show since 2016, we've dialed in a pretty consistent look with obviously minimal kits.
I've been doing little YouTube videos, and I didn't really have the intention to get work from it. It was just kind of something to do. And I book a couple jobs a year now. People that find me are like, just follow me on social media. The only social media though I'm doing is I used to do more, but just YouTube now.
And you promote it, or you're just there?
I just do little vlogs about my shoots and try to
put in keywords.
Nope.
That ongoing discussion we all have during downtime on projects. How do you find work? How do you market yourself? And Scott's much like me, and just this generation of us that are 20, 30 years in. It's like, reality is the quality work comes from referrals, previous clients, or just peers you've worked with over the years. And those key clients are not one-offs. They're just ongoing projects, particularly ones like this that are annual and come back hopefully every year. Well, I'm sure you can hear it in my voice, but man, I am beat. This has been a long, exhausting week, and I got at least 3 more weeks of this level of intensity. And this year has been a lot of this, just on the road, most of it in Texas, but still I'm staying in hotels, doing a lot of travel and repositioning between assignments. And I'm looking forward to a little break, but the way things are going, I don't think it's going to slow down until mid to late December. So, got to take it while it's here. prepare for the next slow patch. I always say, my experience has been these election years are always off. They're just always different. Either crazy busy or dead, or just the timing is inverted from the usual years of freelance production. Well, Saturday was a travel day. It's late Saturday afternoon. Tampa, Florida. A little bit of a water view. I'm gonna take a nap and then I think go hang out at the pool. And tomorrow we're talking about going over to Clearwater Beach.